Hello everyone, and welcome to a new playthrough of Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. This is a practice game for week 6 of the Crawl Sudden Death Challenge, week 6 of 7, so we're getting close to the end here. And we are going to be playing this week as a vampire. Where's vampire? I could describe vampires to you like I explained Spriggans, but I mean it's sort of, everybody knows what a vampire is, and they're different in all games. So we'll get to how vampires are interesting in Crawl probably while we're playing. A vampire air elementalist. So they use like lightning and cloud spells and so on mostly. And there we go, we're in. So let me just set needles and stones. I still haven't gotten around to automating that. Geez, what a twerp. And set our skills. And already we're faced with sort of a choice, I think. Well, not yet. I guess so our starting spell is Shock, which shoots this tiny crappy little lightning bolt. And later we get, some more conjuration spells, and in the meantime some useful charms. So one thing that I could do this week is try to do the don't melee attack anything all game challenge, which you can do any week, and there are only going to be so many book starts where that's even possible. Like, for all I know, the last week might be a fighter or something, unlikely as that is, but it might be something where you just kind of have to melee and that's all you can do. So this is probably my last chance to try for those 3 points. So I think what I'm going to do is try for it, but not mind giving up if necessary. So we're just for the moment going to focus. Oh my gosh, vampires are so bad at conjurations. I forgot. We're just going to focus air and train a little spell casting as well to get magic points. And I'm actually going to, although it seems a little bit silly, I'm going to pick up this hand axe and then inscribe it with don't attack. So I'm not going to actually wield it, but the game knows that I have a weapon in my hand, so if I try to attack barehanded, it'll be like, are you sure you want to attack barehanded? You got a weapon, you idiot. And that'll remind me at least that I won't accidentally be attacking things in melee. And now even if I wield it, it'll be don't attack with. Alright, so let's get going on this vampire. So vampires in Crawl are they're fairly stealthy. And like all undead, there's kind of a thing that Crawl's undead all have in common, which is a weird relationship with food. I already snuck up on this guy to stab him or something, but I'm not allowed to. Wow, we are almost dead here. That whip is... I obviously shouldn't have gotten that close. Okay, so he's giving us an opportunity here. The neat thing about Shock is that it bounces off walls, so it's weaker than the other wizard style starting spells, but you can hit guys twice if you line the shot up well. Miscast. Ouch. So that's what I like about playing Air Elementalist, is you can set up these bank shots that do extra damage. There, the first shot missed, and if it were, Flame Tongue or something, that would have been it. But the second shot hit him, and that was enough to kill him, as it turns out. Anyway, so vampires can't ever starve to death, and they don't eat food either. Rather, of course, they drink blood. Big surprise there. And any hunger state is fine. You can be full, you can be very thirsty or whatever. And they have different trade-offs. When you're very thirsty, holy smokes, really, +6 protection. That's very, very good. But when you're very thirsty, you're more vampire-y. You have more stealth, and you're I don't know, some other stuff. You get resistance to negative energy, and you get resistance to cold as you get more undead, and so on. As you drink more blood, see, we're full now, and I don't have negative energy resistance right now. And vampires have this whole table of like, here's all the things that happen to you if you're full versus whatever. So the main thing in the early game is I don't really care that much about stealth or any of the other bonuses you get from being undead, but when you're alive, you regenerate health faster. So vampires in the early game tend to just want to stay absolutely stuffed, just drink blood whenever they can, as much as they can. But in the later game, you start more often. Really? Misses twice, huh? You start more often making trade-offs where you're like, okay, now, you know, most of the time I want to be thirsty or something because I'm going to be sneaking around and stabbing people or whatever. And that's where you can sort of tailor your character. I think almost any early game vampire wants to be full. Even like a stealthy stabber guy, the bonus isn't that big compared to like just the stealth bonus, that is not that big compared to, you know, getting all this extra health for free. Okay, great. So we made it to level 2. That was a big stepping stone, considering we're never attacking anything. We can cast repel missiles, which is fine. And, you know, swiftness is pretty cool too, but I'd rather... I'll have the level. I'll learn swiftness. It'll be fine, yeah. So swiftness is like a runaway spell. It makes you run much faster for a brief period and then run slower than normal for a little while after that. So it's not very good as like a combat buff, but if you see a situation is going wrong, you can use that to help you get some distance between you and the enemies so you can make it to the stairs, basically. And if you can't guarantee that you can make it to the stairs, it's usually a bad idea to cast swiftness. It's sort of like a help me get to the staircase is basically what I mean, maybe there are other uses for swiftness, but that's how I use it when I remember to use it. I put it on S, good. So this is like, it looks to me like there should be some sort of altar here or something, but apparently it's just decoration, which is fine. This week's gods are Mokleb, god of like destruction and demons. Yeredelemnul. I played a game with Yeredelemnul earlier. He's a fairly powerful god, fairly strong god, I guess is maybe the more appropriate word of. He just likes undead and like creating zombies out of things and so on. Running an undead army is sort of the Yeredelemnul experience. You're the captain of an undead army instead of just being one guy. And who's the other god? Is it Kiku? I think it's Kikubakudga. Let me just double check here. Week is, yes, it's Kikubakudga, the god of necromancy. And so necromancy is not necessarily all about raising zombies from the dead. You can do other things as a necromancer. But so Kiku is sort of like a do-it-yourself necromancy thing. You know, Kiku will give you spells that you can cast to create zombies if you want. And like regeneration to heal yourself with magic. Whereas Yeredelemnul is all about giving you invocations that you can use so that Yeredelemnul will do things for you when you ask. And it's mostly about the gifts Yeredelemnul gives you of like undead servants. Permanent undead servants until they die anyway. Whereas Kiku is about temporarily creating zombies yourself from stuff on the ground. And I don't know, any of those would probably be fine for this character. But for the purposes of a no melee challenge, if it's possible, I would love to get Mokleb. Really? Oh my gosh. Because Mokleb has invocations that deal damage from a distance. You know, you get to use destruction. Mokleb is a god of destruction. So this is the other reason you would have a trade-off with vampire hunger levels is vampires, once they become level 3, can turn into bats and fly away. And you like fly super fast as a bat, but you can't do it if you're full because you're like too much of a human and not enough of a vampire. So what I've been doing thus far is just drinking, well, mostly, is just drinking the blood from bodies on the floor. But you can also bottle it and carry it around in a little doggy bag to eat later. Drink, I suppose, rather, later. And so you can use that to sort of like be at a low-ish hunger state. Like now, I could turn into a bat if I wanted. But I'm carrying around some potions of blood so that if I need to heal quickly, I can just drink a few of those and switch to a more regenerative state. What is this all about? Just some pillar. All right. What is this adder? Oh, put this adder on auto exclude too, I guess. Or explore exclusions or whatever. So the adders are not as big a deal if we can be undead, because if we get hungry, I think we're poison resistant. And if we're bloodless, like which is like starving basically, it's as low on blood as you could possibly be, then you're actually poison immune. And I think like just the hungrier you get, the closer the less quickly poison acts on you, which makes adders less of a threat. There's still a problem, but we had a decent bounce, so I thought I would give it a shot. Maybe it was a bit risky to fight that adder at all, really. I probably shouldn't have. And I'm going to try not to waste magic points on this worm until we've got him standing right here to bounce some zaps off of him, basically. Not off of him, but onto him, I suppose. And I'm going to wait here to set up another one like this. And I can always like run away if this starts to go badly, but it's going all right. So I'm not sure at what point the no melee thing is going to be. It's already been kind of an issue, but I'm not learning melee skills yet anyway, and I wouldn't be anyway, but I might be like just attacking stuff with a dagger maybe if I have found a dagger. In a normal game, I might be doing some more of that. But it hasn't gotten to the point where like I obviously am missing having melee attacks. And so I might just end up doing it only if, depending on whether I find good spells, basically. This was sort of badly positioned. Like if you find good spells, then you don't really need to melee. But if I just go forever and can't find a useful spell, then it might just be time to say, look, we gotta give up on the dream of those +3 points and focus on this character winning it somehow. So I don't know. I don't have a concrete plan. I'm just gonna try to play with as little melee as I can, and then if that ends up being all game, great. If it turns out that I have to give up after a while, that's life. But at least we made an effort of it. So one reason I don't, if you're watching these from the archives, you have no idea, I'm sure, but it's been a while since I put out a new video. Not quite a week, I think. And some of that is because there was a previous series, I'm not going to say which one in case you haven't watched it, it came to a sort of disappointing ending where I had, ooh, yikes, Terrence. I sort of had things exactly the way I needed them. But I got too greedy and threw away a 1 game basically in the hope of some greater reward without really thinking hard enough about it. See, I wasted too much magic there. I'm gonna try and, how do I get a bounce off on him? I guess I run up here, and then back, you know, this will do, I guess. Back up 1 and then zap him. Okay, catch him when he comes around this corner. All right, let's take him upstairs. So now I'm thirsty, right? Which means I have poison resistance, cold resistance, and more negative energy resistance. I'm just gonna not try to kill him with this last magic point. I'm gonna run away till I've got the full 7. And you know, he may have regened, but I don't want to like hit him and then he regens and hit him and then he regens. Like, ugh, it's nobody's idea of a good time. And Zap is also a bolt spell, so you can hit multiple guys in a row with it if they're standing in a line. I mention this because there were 2 enemies around that corner, although one of them seems to have gotten lost. Anyway, we had a game on the channel not too long ago that ended sort of frustratingly, and I just wasn't super in the mood to record. For a while, I wasn't in the mood to play very much. I forgot to exclude this guy. Do not go near Terrence. But I did after just a day or two play another couple games. Easy games so that I could feel good about myself, and so I got a few wins, which was nice. Beat not my high score, but my like time record, just number of actual real life hours spent winning a game. I just like played super recklessly, and what am I even doing with this orc? Played very recklessly and in a hurry, and it was an easy character, so it was like fine. But so we're regenerating health kind of slowly because we're so thirsty. Anyway, but I'm also, at this moment, there's another tournament going on in addition to the one that I've been playing in. The official release of Dungeon Crawl 0.17. They have a tournament for every official release. So, no, don't, thank you. I didn't even mean to do that. I meant to click away from him. So that would have been like, that's why I grabbed this weapon, so that I didn't just immediately get disqualified for attacking that guy. So the crawl release tournament is going on, and I don't like the tournament structure for that one very much, so I don't really consider myself playing in it. Oh, a blowgun is great. Although I'm playing this, I've been playing on Trunk. This game I'm playing on 0.17, the release version. So these games will count for the tournament. But, you know, the tournament format is just like, play a lot of games and win a lot of games with some slight bonuses for like a few things you can do on the way. Wow, this guy, I don't have the firepower to hurt him, apparently. Oh, I do have that new spell that we learned, Static Discharge, which does quite a bit of damage. But I only have the magic to cast it once at this point, so I'm going to back off again. So I don't remember why I was talking about that, but that's going on at the moment. Cool. So Static Discharge hits all the guys adjacent to you. Well, so for each monster adjacent to you, it has a chance to arc some lightning over to them. And if it did, then each arc of lightning that hits can bounce to something else adjacent, which could be you, or it could be like another monster they're standing next to. Oh, it's cursed. That's fine. Whoops! Oh my gosh. I used Curari on him. Let's put these on do not quiver them? That's the wrong inscription, isn't it? It's a different one, like F? Q? Alright, I gotta look this up in the help here. Help, inscriptions. F is fire. Q is quaff, yeah, of course. Q is explicitly quivering. Where is... Oh, that's not Q. Equals F. Okay, I was close. All right, so don't quiver that. And actually, I might as well put it on equals F, not Q. No. Sorry, this is a kind of boring thing to watch, I'm sure. You can, crawl has all these inscriptions you can put in. Exclude it when cycling ammunition. So plus capital F, no, equals capital F. So now, yeah, okay. So now when I cycle through my ammunition, that one doesn't show up. But if I want to, I can explicitly load it. Great, okay, fine. Now I'm not going to accidentally use my Kirari. Anyway, crawl has all these inscriptions you can set to like tell the game how you want to treat certain items, and that's just one case. Like I didn't end up wasting it because we got it back, but it might have disappeared after hitting him, and I didn't want to do that. So having found a blowgun is just really great, especially for the no melee thing, because it means that stuff that we can't comfortably kill with zaps, we can just blowgun to death. And one of the problems you have with needles in ordinary games is that you have to like take a turn to switch from your normal weapon to a needle, or to the blowgun rather. And that's not a problem for us because we're not using a normal weapon. Now, we might at some point like pick up a staff or something, and at that point it would become a bit more of a hassle, but it would also be less important because by the time you're established enough to be like using a staff regularly, you don't necessarily need blowguns quite so badly. Is this guy like actually healing through the poison? What a jerk. Got him. Stones on the ground. Yeah, I don't really care. Ogres. I care about ogres. He shouts. So vampires have a good thing going against vampire blowgun kiting is just quite tedious, but very strong. Like, so I'm gonna needle this guy a couple times. He's very wounded, and now a normal character wouldn't be able to gain any distance between you and the ogre, so you can't really kite. But vampires can turn into a bat and fly away, and like, if he dies now, great. If he doesn't die, I can land and shoot at him some more. He's probably not gonna die, is what I'm thinking now. Yeah, well, maybe. We'll see. Can I cast spells? No. Alright, well, let's stop being a bat, and let's shoot at him a bit. Let's see if we can kill him. Cool. Plenty of experience for killing an ogre. And because of bat form and needles, you can do that with basically no risk, although I did sort of screw it up at the end and give him a chance to hit me once. I mean, he actually ended up dying before he got a chance to, but if I had like missed with the zap or something, he could maybe have hit me. So that was not the best way to do it. And I mean, I could have died actually. It was not very good. What do I want to do about this? That one's almost dead. I can't conveniently. I can either hit them both, or I can like bounce it on the back one twice. I think I'd rather hit them both. Okay, they both died. So, I don't know, this no melee thing is going alright. We got pretty lucky in finding a blowgun, but... Oops, uh-oh, rip. Well, we have been confused, which could be a disaster, but it could be fine. Okay, we're no longer confused, so the priority is going to be this orc wizard, and arguably we should just run away here. Actually, we should. Especially if I'm pretending this is a tournament game where my life is on the line. Confusion, he has to be able to see me, like have direct line of sight with nothing in the way to cast it. So I'm actually sort of comfortable becoming not a bat here. Oh, I didn't become a bat? I failed to use my ability. Okay, well that's great. I wish I had noticed that. But I want to turn back now, so it's fine. And I'm just going to shoot at like this Orc Wizard in the back here. There we go. So again, not the safest way to handle that, but it was all right. And it seems like the no melee thing is going okay, as I was saying. Like, I can't count on everything going quite this well in the real game, but something I mentioned in a previous video about luck is some of what looks like luck is being a good player. And that enables you to like recognize luck, recognize good events, opportunities, perhaps I should say. I don't know why I'm cutting through 2 plants at once. Like, what a stupid... I assume this is like a Fedhas altar, and it just doesn't matter because I don't want Fedhas, but I do want to get back here just in case there's something important. Oh, whoops. He has a cloak, though. Crazy Youth always has a cloak and a quarterstaff of chaos. I could needle him. He's asleep. I think that's worth it. I would get a cloak. I would get some experience. I could just run away, of course. And he would never know. I'm sure Curari would be enough. Poison Needles might be a bit touchy. So I'm just... Since he's asleep, I think I'm going to use the Curari Needle. And I might get it back anyway, so... And it looks like I did, right? There it is on the ground. And now we can switch to a regular old needle and shoot him a bit more. But, you know, Curari slows him and poisons him super hard. So he should topple over before long. Yeah, there he goes. Cool, and we got, it's a glowing cloak even. Thanks, Crazy Youth. 11 armor for a vampire on Dungeon 3 is, like, unbelievable. What places can't you reach? Oh, Terrence, sure. I could needle him too, actually. Sleeping Iguana is, I'm a little bit cornered here. I guess I can always run upstairs and then turn into a bat. So I'm going to go ahead and poison this guy. Turn into a bat now, and then run upstairs. He's going to follow me, but that's fine. Now I can get some distance and see how the poison is going along. Maybe help it along with some more poison or with some shocks. There he goes. So now I'm bloodless, which means like as you get lower health or lower hunger, you get hungrier, thirstier, I guess. Poison hurts you less, but also you heal less quickly. So you actually have 0 hit point regen when you're bloodless. So I will never get back up to 41 health from just resting, as things are right now. And, you know, I could cast Heal Wounds or something if I had, quaff it if I had it, but that's like silly. So we're just going to drink some blood to get back up to like satiated, I suppose is what it's called. Not hungry, not thirsty, not full. And then just bottle some more blood, and that's how I'm going to get hit points back. Is like, I don't know, I would kind of like to be bloodless, sort of. I don't know. Do I want to be bloodless? I guess the stealth bonus is nice, and I'm not really using the regen because I'm not getting into melee combat at all. So maybe I just want to be bloodless. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it super matters. What is this about? Is this like a goblin castle? I think it is. There are going to be a lot of goblins in here. I have underestimated this fault in a previous sudden death challenge. this is what actually killed me in week 2. Wow, those were solid zaps. Good work. And actually, what am I need repel missiles on. I don't think I ever cast that. What an idiot. Let's slow down air magic and work on conjurations, because the main spells we're using are still like basically just shock and sometimes static discharge. And even though our aptitude for air magic is much better, you can see the cost for training more conjurations is much lower just because it's at a much lower level. So let's rest up here and just be aware of goblins, I guess, is the key thing to do here, because you can get sort of swarmed. I ran into Robin's pack of goblins in that previous week I was talking about, and just sort of didn't take them seriously enough. Wow, these zaps, I mean, they're asleep, but you can still miss guys who are asleep, or just not do a ton of damage to them. So it's kind of nice that it's doing a ton of damage and not missing. Yeah, and so there's the other end of the Goblin Fortress. It's a little tiny fort, but it's cute. Yeah, okay, so let's turn into a bat and get away from all that so that we have some range. So this is like something that I don't love about vampires, is how much running. I mean, I don't know, Spriggans were kind of the same, but at least with Spriggans, you could sort of feel like, I don't have a choice, you know? Spriggans are always fast. If I try to run away from things, I just get away real fast. And as a vampire, you're like consciously having to choose to do this like super bleh thing of turn into a bat, run away, turn into a non-bat, do some things. Which I don't know. It seems like mechanically it's about the same. Okay, so Robin is in here. I don't know if she certainly isn't always in there, I don't think, because she exists. This vault existed before Robin was added to the game. I think Robin came in 0.16. But I suppose it's possible that this vault says, hey, if Robin isn't already generated, put her in the game. Put her in this vault. I don't know. It's a possibility. But see, like with this flying away and zapping things, it seems like this is a combo that works reasonably well. And if we can get something like a blowgun... Oh, really? Is this isolated? No, it's just, there's a thing there. Okay. If we can find something like a blowgun to complement it for those cases where it doesn't really work, like where I just don't have enough damage with my zaps or whatever, then it seems like a totally viable tournament plan to go no melee for at least the early game. We're advancing a little bit slowly, which is, you know, not too surprising. You know, it is a tournament game. You play these carefully, and also we're doing dumb stuff on purpose. Robin, okay, has potions of curing. So I've identified, I saw Robin drink a potion, and it was curing, so now I know what curing is. That's good to know. All right, and she's getting closer now, so we're just gonna run away. See how the poison's doing. She ought to drop off any second now. Yep. And let's grab that helmet, and probably the leather too, honestly. +2, nice. And try on the ring. Intelligence, cool. Pretty good stuff this game. And leather, I don't know. It's a tiny bit more armor than a robe, but it's also a tiny bit heavier, makes casting your spells harder, makes you a tiny bit less stealthy. None of those are by very much. And normally I just pick up leather, but here, armor, we're already so well armored because of like the Ring of Protection and all this like great plus equipment that we found, that I feel like adding one more armor is not worth the damage trade-off, whereas usually I think it is. I don't think it's a big decision to make either way, but I'm doing something a little bit different from what I usually do, so I'm explaining to you guys what I'm thinking about and why I normally do it one way and why I'm doing it differently this time. Normally just getting one more armor is fine, and the trade-off in terms of offense is just so trivial that it doesn't matter. Ow. Okay. We could die here. You don't want to stay in line of sight of an Orc Priest for as long as I did there, especially since he was actually smiting me and I didn't notice. Okay, looks like he died though. And let's drink some blood. Cool. Oh, the wizard died. Interesting. Let's actually hit this guy with some Curari, because Orc Priests are just a giant threat. Cool, got him. And now the shocks should do it. Okay, so we lost a needle this time, but I think it was worth it to ensure that we took down that Orc Priest as soon as possible. It would have, if I didn't have the needle, I think the right answer would have been to just run away. And arguably it was to just run away anyway. But there's Kiku, all right. Mokleb, great. So I found him, I'm taking him. I always kind of think of Mokleb as a her, honestly. Do I? I don't know. Mokleb is kind of genderless. They're all the gods are actually genderless, but I have my own ideas about some of them, right? Yeah, so Mokleb is a god of destruction and bloodshed and just wants you to kill a whole bunch of stuff and gives you access to destructive spells that are like destructive magic. Like basically you have an invocation that gives you a random destructive spell, but it's based on your invocation skill instead of your training in that magic school. And you also get access to a bunch of summoned demons. And you get more health whenever you kill things. Like Mokleb just gives you so much. And there's no conduct, so you just are supposed to kill stuff. So I'm hoping that this stuff will help. Gosh, they have a -1 invocation. They're so bad at everything. They're not. They're great at a lot of things, but none of them are the things we're actually doing. So, okay, great. There's Mokleb. That's another good milestone. Speaking of milestones, 37 minutes. 37 minutes to Dungeon 4. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut this first video right here. We found a god. We're doing so well that I'm worried this isn't a good practice game just because we found all this lucky stuff. But, you know, that might happen in real life too. So, I'm certainly going to continue this practice game, see how the early game with Mokleb is, if invocations are a help or what. Conceivably, I might try Kiku Bakudga instead. Because you get necromancy books, and that'll have like Bolt of Draining and make zombies and so on. So you can kill stuff that way too. So that's what you've got to look forward to in the next episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.